Hi, Shreya.
Hi Suraj, how are you?
So first of all, I'm good. Good afternoon and good evening from Indian viewers and good afternoon for island viewers. So how are you, Shreya?
I'm good. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah. And Shreya, thank you so much for joining us. So Shreya, first of all, you are so inspiring because in this very small age, you are doing so many things and you are a very good content writer. I have seen your profile on LinkedIn, right? And you are working on some startup for the freelancing kind of things, right? So, Shreya, before starting the session, I just wanted to ask you about uh, how was your schooling life? Like when you were in school in Mumbai, in India, what was your school life experiences?
I had a very interesting school life, I would say. I was very involved in every single thing, especially until I would say like grades 1 to 10th. Um, it
Mm-hmm.
was very much into exactly what I'm doing now in terms of writing and speaking
Mm-hmm.
and so in school I was very much involved in all these essay competition, debates and elocutions, poem narration, things like that. And I really poem recitation rather. I really enjoyed it, and I was recognized for it. Like I won awards and certificates for it, and that's where I think my interest for all of this, speaking and writing, all of this built up. Other than that, I was very much
Correct.
into sports as well. I really enjoyed, being a part
Mm-hmm.
of things,
Okay.
especially like relay or and I was a fast runner. So anything that had to do with
Mm-hmm.
running, I would be involved in it. And I think
Mm-hmm.
I was very involved in just being out there. So any
Correct.
competition or any sports event or anything in school or inter school anything, like all my teachers would also approach me and they'd be like, "This is there. Do you want to be a part of it?" So just being present
Okay.
everywhere possible, and as I
Mm-hmm.
do now, also just kind of making the most of every moment. So that's what my school life was like.
Correct. So it seems you have participated lots of co-curricular activity in your school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. So, Shreya, let's talk about power of learning. According to you, what do you think? Like, how much learning is important for you in your school life? Again, I'm coming on school life because it's a very important part of our life, like for everyone. Because
Yeah.
in school life, you generally right now we are doing content writing, right? So, from school, like how content writing has become more interesting to you since your school and now in college.
I mean, the kind of writing that I did when I was in school was very different, of course, from what I do now.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of writing was something that was personal, something that was about me, something that was about how I
Mm-hmm.
felt. So in terms of, poems, it would be about my everyday life, about the lectures I attended or my teachers, my friends, being, all of those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
And then there were essays. So I sometimes I wrote for like local newspapers as well. So those were again very personal opinion pieces. But now
Mm-hmm.
content is of course for other people. So content writing in itself that I do is for clients. It's for people that are not me. So there's definitely a very stark
Mm-hmm.
difference in this. But one thing that
Correct.
definitely, that I really vouch my school for is just kind of pushing me towards doing it. It's one thing to
Mm-hmm.
do, if I were writing poems and if I were writing essays for myself, it's a different thing. But actually being able to, go
Mm-hmm.
up in front of the class and like 40, 50 students and read it out to them, compete with like,
Correct.
your class, compete with 40 students, and then compete with like the entire grade, compete with like 200 students, then make it to the top three.
Correct.
That's a different thing. So, I think
Mm-hmm.
schooling was mainly the inspiration to keep going and realizing that, okay, what I do is actually good. I'm good at what I do, and I should keep doing. Because
Mm-hmm.
like even again, if I think about, I was very interested in writing and in sports. I was very much into sports as well. But
Mm-hmm.
sports is not something that gave me a lot of recognition. It was not something that I was known for. I was known for, speaking. I was known for taking the mic and, talking to the entire school in the morning assembly. So I realized that, okay, this is my strong suit. I like everything, but my strong suit is what I'm recognized for. And that was speaking and writing.
Correct.
And I went ahead with those things. Yeah.
Right. So Shreya, right now you have I think more than 65,000 followers on LinkedIn, and you are continuously growing on other platforms like Instagram and Twitter, right? So my question is, when and how did you get introduced to the digital world?
In general, I think social media, of course, I knew it for a long time. I think around high school is when
Mm-hmm.
I really started using Instagram and mainly Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
That was also for personal use, looking at, videos and looking at food recipes and whatnot. But then during my
Correct.
internship, I realized that, this is not like, all these accounts are not doing it by themselves. So many of these influencer
Mm-hmm.
accounts and so many of these, brands they don't create content and keep sitting and posting out there on by themselves. It's somebody doing it for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I mainly realized that when I was actually ending up doing that for the clients during my internship. So I was sitting and writing
Mm-hmm.
content for social media posts, for images that go on Instagram or Facebook. And that's when I realized that, okay, this is something that people get paid to do, and this is something that I am good at. Because again, I had that
Correct.
recognition during my internships. People realized that I was good at it. So I went ahead with it. And
Correct.
that was, I think, the main
Mm-hmm.
opening that I realized, uh, you know, kind of a career in digital world rather than, just being aware of it. And after
Correct.
like I did a few internships, I explored with different things, and then I kind of narrowed it down to what I
Mm-hmm.
love most. And again, now I've
Mm-hmm.
pursued those kind of things. So whatever I have experimented, whatever I liked most, I've just picked that up and made the most of it right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, correct. So you mentioned the one thing that is internship. I would like to know more about that internship because that is something where you have learned so many things, correct?
Right.
What was about that?
Okay. So I did three internships. This was after my high school.
Mm-hmm.
So I did three internships. This
Mm-hmm.
was, I think, over a period of 1 year. The first one was with Ad
Mm-hmm.
Factors PR. All three were in Mumbai. So the first one was this
Mm-hmm.
Ad Factors. There it was mainly about creating business pitches and doing marketing research. Not something I was really
Correct.
interested in, but my first internship, so I really
Mm-hmm.
wanted to see how it was. The second was with
Mm-hmm.
second one was with Times Now. It was in the Twitter social marketing team. So, just
Mm-hmm.
watching news and then instantly making tweets out of them and, like around 10, 15 tweets within like, 10, 15 minutes. That was what I did for
Mm-hmm.
a few months. And then finally I was with a startup in Mumbai. And the startup is actually where I learned the most things because they really like, they really made the most of this resourceful intern that they had. So they really had work to give. They really had something that made a real life impact. At that time, I
Correct.
was writing directly for clients. So I wrote in that span, I wrote brochures, I
Mm-hmm.
wrote social media copy, I wrote press releases, I wrote emails. And I,
Mm-hmm.
of course, learned how to, be within a team and at the startup, there were so many people involved because it wasn't a small part of a big company because Ad Factors and Times Now are huge companies. They are like, they have thousands of
Correct.
people in their offices. So you are like a very small part of the team. But here, the 10, 15 people were the entire team. So you are closely working with
Mm-hmm.
everyone who's into like SEO, graphic designing, the client management, the manager. So that was a very, fruitful experience for me. And that's something that really helped me find what I love most.
Correct, correct, correct. So that was your learning experience, and this is the like real story from where you started your content writing. Actually, this started from school, but yeah, there are three internships which you have like completed from different companies. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Shreya, my next question is, what practices you have adopted to make your time more productive?
The main thing has been routine in terms of productivity.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is that I am the kind of person who can finish something very fast. Like if I just have to get
Mm-hmm.
myself to sit and do it. But if I sit and do it, then I'm,
Mm-hmm.
I'm somebody who will finish it within a few hours. And compared to the task, it won't feel
Mm-hmm.
like it's something that could be done in a few hours. So that's a
Mm-hmm.
good thing, but that's also a really sensitive thing because it means that I can get a lot of things done in a small amount of time. So I have to get up and do it. If I do it, it'll be done. But if I cannot find that initial push, then it's just going to stay there and then it's going to pile up and it's going to get more difficult. And because I'll keep thinking, oh,
Okay.
I can finish it within a few minutes, that kind of thing. But then it just keeps getting stressful with time. So this happened especially in the starting few weeks of the lockdown. But
Mm-hmm.
then after that, of course, setting a routine was very helpful. So, setting fixed work hours, taking the weekends off, preferably like doing a few lives here and there and having a fixed time for the lives. As much as possible, just trying to make my life as boring, I would say, as possible, just sticking it to that routine. And that really helped me, like maximize whatever time I had and get things done within those hours.
Correct. So that is the reason. Okay, so Shreya, next question is, how do you effectively manage your college academics? Because right now you are in second last year of your college, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you manage your college academics along with additional tasks like content writing, startup, and all?
Okay, so I mean, I've
You
had a
manage.
break from college for about 5 months now. I'm starting college next week, actually. Not tomorrow, but the week after
Mm-hmm.
that. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking forward to settle make to my routine because honestly, I've forgotten how it felt until 5 months ago. But mainly, again,
Okay.
yeah, it's important to kind of set time slots as much as possible. So my plan would be to kind of, finish my lectures, which are mainly online, this semester. So finish my online lectures and finish my work by a certain time, say like, 5 p.m. so that later I have enough time to study and do my essays and still have time for myself and go to the gym, things like that. So that's my idea. But I think once, things come up, I will realize how to effectively manage it.
Right. So right now, like you don't have attend to any college lectures or something like that, right?
Not at the moment, no.
Not at the moment. Correct. Okay. So Shreya, next question is, how do you apply your learning in the practical world execution? Learning with executions.
Okay, so I did talk about this in one of my recent lives that I am big into,
Uh-huh.
learning while executing. So the idea is that
Mm-hmm.
even if, something is new to me and I'm not sure of how to do something or I haven't really done it before, I may know about it, but I haven't done it before, I still always take it up. This especially in terms of, client work. So somebody says, can you write web copy or can you write video scripts? So the video script that I did, one of the first ones, I had never done it before, but I just said yes and I gave my hourly rate because, I wasn't sure how much time it would take. So I just gave an hourly rate. I experimented with it and the client really liked it.
Okay.
And this was a last minute work. This was, like an overnight kind of thing. And the client was very happy. So, the idea is I had not written a video script until then, but getting a good client brief and, looking up videos and understanding, what really goes into it and then doing it, giving it across and then the client actually liking it. That was an entire learning experience in itself. So definitely, I mean, definitely just accepting the work even when I don't know it and just doing it is my way of, actually working on things and making the most, I guess.
What students should do for the learning and what kind of problem they generally face to acquire any skill during the student life, during the school life, during the academics, because academic is something is always you need to concentrate on your academic as well as your co-curricular activity or whatever you want to learn. So, message for the school student.
Right. For school students, I would say that, there are many, many opportunities in schools. So always make the most of
Mm.
those. Because, as I said, like for me, if I, if because I had that validation and that approval and that acknowledgement from my teachers, and of course, they always helped me out. If I ever went wrong, they always told me like, hey, Shreya, you should have done this better. And they gave me advice and they scolded me and, they kind of, made me a better speaker, a person, and a writer. So in that sense, try to make the most of your school life. Be a part of every opportunity that interests you. It could be, it could be writing. It could be being a part of like the student council or student committee, whatever you may call it. Being a part of, all these events. Whenever there's physical events, again, you can like do the hosting or you can, bring in the guests, things like that. Just be involved in every single thing because it's going to really help you out. And certain there are many creative things I think that students really look into at this at in their school life. So for me, the creative part was
Correct.
mainly writing poems. But for many people, I remember it's been music, it's been singing or playing the guitar or dancing or photography. I know so many students who used to roam around with cameras and used to be so excited when they could bring cameras to school, and today they are actually photographers. So, try to make the most of it, at least in school itself. You're not getting paid to do anything, but you're getting the exposure, of course. And then eventually, if you spend enough time, like say the last 3, 4 years of your school, you're doing this, that's enough experience for you to realize whether you like it or not. And then once you go out in the real world in your high school, you can start charging your friends, your family, your relatives, and then eventually go in for clients. That's how you build it up step by step.
Correct, correct. So, Shreya, my next question is, what do you believe makes you versatile and open to various fields?
What makes me, I think that there is no other way, I mean, what do I have to lose kind of thing. I think like, in the recent years, what I've realized is maximizing anything that comes your way is the best way to grow. And if nothing, it's the best way to
Yeah.
realize what does not work for you. So for me, yeah, it has been very, as I said, I'm always very involved in every single thing. So in school, I was very involved in all these activities, which were not just academics. In college, I'm involved in like pitches and hosting events and things like that, which are not just my English and philosophy course. And even in
Correct.
freelancing, I'm involved in, working with, like, say, video scripts, which I had never done before. I'm open to it because it's all a matter of experience. As long as you don't have that experience, you can't really figure out how you like it
Correct.
or whether you're good at it. And because of every opportunity, because you keep showing up, is when you show up, it's when opportunities come to you. So if you're not present somewhere, then nothing is going to work out for you because you're just not there. You're at home. You're by yourself.
Exactly.
So definitely, like, what choice do I have? And then, of course, I have nothing to lose. So just might as well show up.
Correct. Shreya, we have one question from audience. Do I need to make any project in content writing as I'm just a beginner in freelancing? If yes, what kind of projects?
Not projects exactly, but you do need portfolio in terms of you do need something that shows your skills. So you can show your skills by just having a portfolio that you make for yourself. So you can just write down content and articles, social media, whatever you like. And you can even like look at other people's work and like other ads and other brands, and you can just make mock-ups for them. You can even email them, use it to pitch as well, but mainly it's for your portfolio. So just because if I approach you, I need to know, I need to see your work. Otherwise, I don't know how good of a writer you are. So yes, do work on a portfolio and write a few articles and just put them together to present to any prospects.
Right. So I hope, Deep, you got your answer. Shreya, next question is, you have completed your class 12th from India, right?
Hmm.
And now you are in Ireland. So what do you think like about education system? What is the differences, pros and cons in education system in India and in education in Ireland? Is there any difference or all things are same? What do you feel?
The main thing is that I can only compare between school and college. So I can compare Indian school with with Irish college because that's the only experience I have had. But in terms
Right.
like the one major difference is of course independent thinking. This is very much idolized over here in Ireland. That you have to have independent thought. You have to, once you're done reading, you're done studying, but you have to give your inputs. You have to give your opinions. You have to analyze it in your way rather than just, giving the information that's in the book. That's one major difference. Just that, when you're in India, I think, or whenever you're in your home country, it's just that the people around you are very much like you. So I think it's very easy to fit in, or, depending on what kind of person you are. But it's very easy to fit in. It's because you have the same culture, the same ideals, similar, upbringing. Maybe, you growing in a similar environment, especially if you're going to the same school. So it does make a lot of difference in terms of, the kind of involvement you could have. It becomes a challenge when you move abroad because everyone's new and people are from all over the world. So
Right.
they are very
That's right.
different in their thought in anything. It could be any single thing, like, even the way they study, the way they listen, the way they talk, their accent. So that is one of the challenges, I would say, in moving abroad, that you really have to give time to It's like, your ears need time to adjust to the height when you're going in a lift. It's the same thing. You have to give time to kind of adjust to new people and new
Correct.
culture and new weather, maybe. And it does get draining at times because even though you think you're prepared for it, you may not be because it's completely different when you're actually in that position. But yeah, that's
Correct.
the major difference, the independent thinking and, the challenges of really adjusting to your environment.
Shreya, when you were in class 10th or in class 11th, 12th or in class ninth, what you wanted to become
Okay,
on
I
that
wanted
time?
to be
Any
many,
clue?
many things actually. When I was very young,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to sort of be a writer, I think. It was very fascinating.
Okay.
And then along with that, I wanted to be a veterinarian also. So like, a doctor of
Mm-hmm.
animals because I really love
Right.
animals. And I used to always say that I can never
Mm-hmm.
treat spiders because I'm terrified of spiders. So I used to always say that, I want to be
Okay.
I want to be a vet, but I do not want to treat spiders. That was the thing I said. Then eventually with time, for very personal reasons, it changed to, being an ophthalmologist. I wanted to be an eye doctor. And then eventually with time, I realized that, what, the only thing I want to do is write. And I had this thought in mind that, if I'm a doctor, I could probably write something during the day, when I'm waiting for patients or something. But I realized that that's not how it works. I mean, if I really want to do something then I have to, go all into it. And so I went all into it and I changed the decision and I went in for English and philosophy and I'm happy with that.
Correct. That's great. The happiness is at the end we will have to focus only we are happy or not. Right.
Yeah.
Shreya, could you please share with our viewers about your 65,000 LinkedIn followers story, like how it happened and how suddenly you become so popular, you become so viral on LinkedIn, and you grab 65,000 followers on LinkedIn because it's very tough to getting followers on actually on LinkedIn.
It was not sudden at all. It's been 2 years since I've been
Okay.
writing on LinkedIn, so I will not say it's sudden. It's been a lot of hard work. It's been
Okay.
2 years, and then it's almost a post every other day. So that's over 500 posts. A lot of patience, a lot of times where I didn't really want to post, or a lot of times where I just things just kept going, and I kept posting every single day for 2 months altogether. So it's been different.
Mhm.
And I think the main thing I would say that, the secret sauce has been sticking to it. Because I mean, I
Mhm.
think standing afar, I mean, as you said, like it's sudden. You think it's sudden because you're not the one doing it. So it's very easy
Correct.
for, us to think that, okay, this person had it all of a sudden.
Mhm.
And that's what people start
Mhm.
expecting. So many people who message me say that, you have so many followers, but I'm posting, I'm not getting any views. You said LinkedIn works. I said, yes, LinkedIn works, but I just saw your profile. You've posted like 2 posts in the past 1 week, and that's it. And you want results.
Obviously.
That's not how it works.
Correct.
It took me 2 years. It'll probably take you more. It might take you lesser even, but you have to commit to it and give it time. So yeah, patience is the most important thing ever. Yeah.
Correct. Right. So Shreya, you have been part of Indian education system in class 11th, 12th, and 10th, and you have been part right now in in Ireland. So my question is because right now we are working on teachers because we think if teachers, if we will be able to provide quality of teachers to the student, then definitely that teacher would mentor the student, guide the student, not academically. He will teach the students like what is social responsibility. Whatever a student is interested, definitely teacher will guide to the student to like achieve the vision of the student. So we are working on the teachers. We are providing training to the teachers, and then our only aim is every child of India should get quality of teachers, right?
Mhm.
So my question is, what do you think one change in Indian education system, which is mandatory, which is necessary, which is like we need to change this thing? Is there anything according to you?
Might be a little controversial, but I think that people don't give enough credit to the education system in India. Recently,
Right.
especially, especially with things moving online and in general, I have seen so many people bashing the Indian education system, saying there is nothing to learn from it, and school doesn't teach you anything, and you don't teach the essential life skills. But that's not the school's job. I mean, if it has made you capable enough to have your own opinions, if it has made you capable enough to be able to bash something that has actually made you who you are, if it's given you enough position to be in a position where you can voice your opinions, be in a position where you know how to live with the world around you, face the world around you. Most of these people have really good jobs. Most of these people are doing very well for themselves, but they do not credit their education. And I find it so absurd because, okay, maybe your education was not the best. Maybe it could have been better, but you are still where you are. Of course, your hard work matters. But again, your school is the foundation. Your school is where you met people. You didn't like school maybe, and then that is why you decided, I don't want to be a part of school. I want to do this. But again, then maybe your school, you didn't like it. That is why you did something else. So in every way, I think people are not giving enough credit to their education for their success. And that's a very selfish thing to do. And I think people should really start valuing the education system, no matter where they are. People should start valuing the education system and make the most of it rather than bash it and just abuse it.
Correct. We have one question from viewers. The question is from Pat Makwana. How to write for something different industry like blockchain? You might be aware about blockchain.
Yeah, I am.
Are you?
Yes, I am. One of the best things that I'm working with a few clients who are into blockchain. And I have done that even previously. When it comes to the basics, I do my research, I read, and I can do some work here and there. After a point, I look for hiring people because I've spoken about this before, that I think that if you don't really need to learn all the skills in the world sometimes, and especially those which are not absolutely mandatory for you, and if you can really have someone who already knows it, if you can hire someone, then you should do it. Of course, you pay them, but it saves you a lot of effort. It saves you a lot of time. And that's the reason why this whole outsourcing, freelancing, and delegation of work works, because people want to make it easier while getting the best quality content or best quality work out there. So I am definitely big on outsourcing certain things. Yes.
Correct. So Shreya, that's it from my side. I have completed all the list of questions. I just wanted to thank you so much for joining us, right? And I hope this session must be useful for all the students and whoever will watch or whoever was watching this session. Thank you so much, Shreya, for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you, Suraj. Bye.
Bye. Yeah. Bye.